welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm your host, Brian Nugent here, and welcome to Afro Mosaic Health Guide. I'm so excited to be back. It's so good to be back in the studio, and I'm telling you folks, we have a very exciting show today. We're going to be talking about some really important things, and you know, it was really tough not being here last week. As you know, for our listeners out there, I did have pneumonia and bronchitis, and let me tell you folks, that is not something you want to get because, boy, it will knock you out, and it sure knocked me out. But we had our producer, Dave Williams, doing a great job, as he always does, filling in for me. And we had a great, great show, and I'm so happy to be back. And you know what? Today's a great day because we're talking about some amazing things. But before we get into the amazing things that we're going to be talking about, let's talk a little bit about that weather. My goodness. It's been sunny, it's been hot, it's been cold, it's been all these different types of things. And, you know, sometimes when I feel like the weather is nice and sunny outside, I find that people are in better moods. You ever notice that? That when it's sunny and warm outside, that people are in better moods for sure. And today was actually a great day because at our facility at CrossFit Courage and Wellness Center, and you know where that is at 1885 Clements Road in Pickering, Ontario, we actually had one of our athletes, Jennifer Wakefield, who is from the Canadian national team hockey team. She had brought in her gold medal. She's one of our athletes that trains at our facility at CrossFit Courage and Wellness Center, and she had her gold medal there, and everyone was excited. And if you go to our Facebook or my Facebook, you can see that photo there, and that was really exciting to hold a gold medal. I've never had a gold medal ever before. I mean, I used to play pro football, but you know, in pro sports, you don't get gold medals. You definitely get what I would have had would have been a great cup. But with that said, it was really good to hold that gold medal. They're big, they're heavy, and boy, she deserved it. So that was really exciting to do that. Today's show, what we're going to be talking about today is cultural diversity, right? Cultural sensitivity. We're going to be talking about culture and the way culture is affected by myself and others around us, because obviously we're all different individuals, we're all diverse, we all come from different backgrounds, and you know, sometimes in life it can be challenging at times to deal with different cultures, different demographics, different situations, and we might not know how to deal with these situations. So we have an amazing expert today who's in today, who's going to be talking to us about cultural diversity and cultural education. And I'm really excited about this because being here in Canada, you know, being in one of the most diverse countries in the world, I think cultural education and cultural sensitivity is something of paramount, something that must be taken very seriously here, especially if you are one of our listeners in the Greater Toronto area. You know as well as I do that everywhere you turn, there is somebody from a different demographic, different culture, a different background, and sometimes we might have communication issues, sometimes we might have issues of not knowing how to communicate back and forth, or learning how to go about the best ways of getting what we need to get done. And you know, today's program, we have an amazing expert who's very well educated about culture and cultural diversity. So before we get to our expert, I wanted to share some things about culture, and I want to read a quote to you that goes like this. Quote, "Walls that separate people are often built on ignorance, hatred, and fear. I try to put cracks in those walls. When people realize they feel the same pain, they begin to see how much we all have in common." Aziz Abu Sarah. Very, very powerful quote. Now, as community builders, understanding culture is our business. Whether we live in Vancouver, Toronto, Tibet, Costa Rica, Thailand, it doesn't matter, folks, or Miami, we are working to establishing relationships with people from all cultures. Now, what is culture, right? Here's a viewpoint that I come across. Culture refers to a group of community who shares common experiences that shape the way its members understand the world. It includes groups that we are born into such a race and national origin, gender, class, or even religion. It can also include a group we join and become a part of. For example, it is possible to acquire a new culture by moving to a new country or a region, or by changing our economic status, or by becoming disabled, When we think of cultures broadly, we realize it all belongs to many cultures at once. Now, culture is a strong part of people's lives, especially in this part of the world. If you're living in the Greater Toronto Area, let's be honest, a lot of us identify, even though that we were born here, you know, in Canada. I was first born in Canada, but it's natural for me to identify that, hey, I'm Jamaican. Or my friend Tony, right, who was born here, he might identify that he's Italian. So culture is obviously very paramount here. It influences our views, our values, and even our humor. There's our hopes and our loyalties and our worries and our fears. So whether we come from Vancouver, Tibet, Montana, if our parents are from Cambodia, French Canadian, it doesn't matter if you're Mormon or gay. If you're a mixture of cultures, your culture has affected you in somehow, some way. So when we're working with people and building relationships with them, it helps to have some perspective and understanding these cultures. And that's why I'm so excited. When we're working with people and building relationships with them, it helps to have some perspective and understanding these cultures. And that's why I'm so excited right now, because we have Mr. Simba Hainley, who has received a master's degree from York University in Sustainable Education and Environmental Studies. Now, he's a certified facilitator and trainer of trainers with the Virtues Project International, and it has been conducting professional development workshops on restorative practice, character, education with the Afro Mosaic Health Guide and the Toronto District School Board. So we're very excited to have this expert in here. Simba, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming.
Oh man, I'm just happy to be here, bro.
Oh, awesome. That is fantastic. Now, what exactly is a cultural educator?
Wow. Well, you know, for me, when I speak of cultural educator, I'm speaking of someone who speaks to and represents the historical heritage of a people. Right? Something that speaks to the traditional values that the people practice, that gave them a particular defined definition, a social practice, a social norm.
Okay, very exciting. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into that a little bit deeper, right? We want our listeners to be able to get good information that they can walk away with and be more sensitive, more culturally educated, more culturally diverse. And we're going to break for a commercial. I'm your host, Brian Nugent, Afro Mosaic Health Guide. You know where to find us on our Facebook, Afro Mosaic Health Guide. We'll be right back. You can also get questions. If you want to call in, you can call us at 416-233-7368. Right now.